Welcome to the Best Known Church Show, where we show you how to 10x your reach with church marketing that will help you increase your impact, make more disciples, and become the cornerstone of your community again. This is for the leaders with an outrageous vision, because anything less would be an inaccurate reflection of our Creator. The ones who have unreasonable faith, because you know God works unreasonable miracles. And the ones who are relentless in the pursuit of your calling, because anything less would not make a good and faithful servant. If that's you, you're in the right place. Now, please welcome your host and guide on this journey to become the best known organization in your community, Justin Nava.
Welcome to the Best Known Church Show. My name is Justin Nava, founder of Nava Church Marketing, and something announcing very soon on Black Friday. If you are not tuned into the newsletter, make sure you sign up for our newsletter. You can just go download one of our free resources, navachurchwebsite.com, or go to navachurchmarketing.com/newsletter. Or, just stay tuned to the YouTube channel, hit like and subscribe, because I got something pretty cool that's coming out on Friday. But today we're actually talking about Christmas, and I am recording this Thanksgiving week casual. Sometimes when it's a slow week, things aren't really popping off. You go to church in your t-shirt. You go to the office in your t-shirt. Well, I'm actually recording this right now at 7 a.m. Because I'm not gonna be able to do this live. My daughter has a special soccer practice this week, and my son is sick. So rather than trying to make sure that everything is settled down, so I can do this live at the normal time, I'm going to pre-record it and then put it up. So this isn't live like it usually is, but I will be monitoring the chat when it does go live. So if you have any questions, need some clarification on what we're talking about today, by all means, go ahead and keep your comments coming, and I will answer them in the live chat. Today, we're coming on part 3 of the Christmas ad sequence that we've been teaching. We talked about our process, the guest journey to get people from unaware to curious to interested to committed. Then we talked about the Christmas ad that really works to bring people to your, either get them to sign up immediately for your event or to bring them to your Christmas landing page, the page on your website that is all about your Christmas service. And today we're talking about the Christmas landing page itself. I'm going to show you what that could look like, because before people visit a local organization, the data shows that anywhere from 80 to 90% of them will go online first, right? If you hear about a new website, if you hear about a new business, you will probably check out their website. The only exception to that is if you're already somewhere, and chances are people aren't just out going shopping on Sunday morning and they come across your church and like, oh yeah, let's go to church. So you've got that additional hurdle to overcome, because people have to really plan to come to you. You don't just get foot traffic automatically. So we're going to talk about what it looks like to have a Christmas landing page. That is a web page on your website that is specifically dedicated to just Christmas, and what that looks like, the elements you should have, and how you can get it done in less than a day, really. So you can have something that showcases not only information about your Christmas service, but gets people inspired, showcase inspiration of why they should check. And you know what? I think it's funny that I'm recording this pre-recorded because, man, as you can tell, maybe I'm getting sick. I don't know. I hope I'm not getting sick. We're hosting Thanksgiving this year, and I got a lot of cooking to do. But I just had to pause real quick to blow my nose because I'm just had like this crazy sneezing attack right before, like literally as the intro was playing. So say a quick, I guess, prayer for me, time continuum, whatever that looks like. So hopefully we're going to be okay this Thanksgiving. So if you have not checked out the previous podcast episodes on the YouTube or on Spotify, go back and listen to those. Episode 86 is the entire guest journey mapped out for you. Last week's episode was about the ad that you can run. Now, you don't have to run the ad if you've got flyers, mailers, word of mouth invites. You can still create this Christmas landing page, so you don't have to run the ad, right? Even though you could get a lot of results for just a couple $100. Results being like people like signing up to your Christmas event, RSVPing. And we'll talk about what that RSVP looks like today. Let me get back to my notes because I keep droning on here. So what I want to do is I want to show you how to get people to say yes to your Christmas services. There's a lot of things going on during Christmas, and I want them to say yes to you. There's a lot of competitions. There are things that you're not even thinking of. I'm not just talking about sales. I'm not just talking about shopping. I'm not just talking about family visits. I mean, there are other people doing Christmas events. There's other organizations, not churches in your town, that are doing bounce houses and Meet Santa and free giveaways. And there's even like we have the turkey trots. You got Christmas runs. So there's lots of things that are happening. And the key for your church to stand out is to show that you understand what people want out of a Christmas service. It's not self-serving. They're not going to go to a self-serving. They're not going to go to a church that says, hey, look at how great we are. I mean, look at how great God is. Yes. But that isn't necessarily going to resonate with someone that has specific needs of, I want something to do with my family. I want something that has some nostalgia. I want something that's respective to the source material, so to speak. And so we'll show you how to do that on your website. But also, we are in an information-driven age, right? You don't make a decision without talking to someone first, especially if it's a what we call in the business world a high-ticket decision, right? If your church is spending thousands of dollars, you're not just going to spend that on a Facebook ad. You're going to, talk to someone, review it, pray over it. Well, in the same way, before someone goes to even something as simple as a Christmas event, they want to see some information. They want to see some proof that it is going to be something that they want to go to. And you can do all that with your website. You don't have to field calls all day. You don't have to go out knocking on doors. You can if you want, but your website can do a lot of the heavy lifting, so you can really focus on getting the word out. And those that are curious, visit the website, and we can convert that curiosity into interest, and then that interest into intent or commitment. So, looking at what we did before, it used to be just throw a lot of information out there, and people know what a Christmas service is. People know what a church service is. People know what a Christmas cantata and a Christmas play is. And so, if they want to come, they'll come. And I think there still is some truth to that. However, we have again, going back to the idea that we're in an information age, there is still a lot of baggage that comes with that information age. Meaning, if your church has the word, and this is a conversation I have almost every month. If your church has the word Baptist in it, there are a certain number of people that are just not going to go. Okay. And so you have that extra obstacle of, what, they do have a good Baptist heritage in their family. They do, would be best served. We believe we are the ultimate truth, whatever. Like, we are right on the secondary and tertiary issues that the Methodists and the Presbyterians aren't, whatever. Right. These people would still be best served by your church. But with the name Baptist in your title, that is an extra obstacle that you are going to have to overcome. Just like anything, AT&T owes me $70. And so anything AT&T does, it's an automatic no, it's an automatic pass for me. That is an obstacle that AT&T has to overcome. We all have our own baggages when it comes to organizations. And unfortunately, the church world, because of the information age we live in, you have to fight against the information that everyone else has. So you have to work especially hard to get people that have that curiosity to overcome that. Oh, but they're a Baptist church. The one I went to as a kid, they used to yell at me all the time. So you have that extra obstacle to overcome, but you now have the tools to overcome that without you having to field a 10-minute phone call and getting into an argument with someone. You can now show, what, I will still go to this Christmas event, even though it's at a Baptist church, because the event looks like it's something for me and my family. It's like something that I will want to go to. So, I don't want you just to broadcast noise. I want you to put out something that will generate curiosity, and again, convert that curiosity to interest. And to really do that, that's going to take place on your website. And I want to make sure that we provide enough information for people to make a decision. A lot of Christmas landing pages are on Christmas web pages. And let's just make sure we understand, a landing page is a web page with one specific purpose. Okay. Your homepage is not a landing page, because your homepage can lead to someone to planning a visit, to looking at ministries, to watching sermons, to going to events, even your about page. That's more of a landing page, but still you're sharing your values, you're sharing your history, you're sharing your leadership, and people are allowed to, click wherever they want, go wherever they want. It's a web page. A landing page has one specific purpose. And ideally, a landing page is almost like a single page website, because they can't do anything else, right? This is where I get in a little bit of a disagreement with other marketers, because landing pages traditionally don't have a navigation menu, don't have a way to click out of it. Like, there is a yes or no option. Here's the event, sign up or exit the page. I think some churches, okay, not all, but I think there is a good argument that a landing page can be on the website, but you can still have the navigation to go look at other parts of the church, but still have the landing page itself focused on that event. So if someone wants to say, like for me, example, I'm going to go to this Christmas event, but also I want to check out their values because I know they're going to present a sermon at this event, and I don't want my daughter to hear something that I don't want her to hear because this place has completely different views from us. So I think there is an argument there. You could put that information on the landing page, but also for a lot of churches, practically, their staff, their resources, even church communicators, they don't have the wherewithal to create a landing page that nixes the headers or a second software to create a website like that. So, let's just get clear. When I say landing page, I'm talking about specifically about a single page on your website that is focused on your Christmas service. And if you go Google it, it'll say it doesn't have navigation. It doesn't have footer. It has these elements. That's a bonus. It's not really necessary. The other mistake that I see is just simply not knowing what should go on the landing page. A lot of church landing Christmas pages that I see just have, a picture of whatever logo the Christmas cantata music came with, or a title and time, and it doesn't have a lot of information about like the overall Christmas service that the church has, what to expect, what the not agenda, what the not even the order of worship, but like, hey, we're gonna have donuts before, we're gonna have the Christmas cantata during, and then afterwards we're gonna have kids playing in the playground, whatever. Sometimes they include things like the candlelight service, but they don't include the caroling that happens before, right? You can have all that information on one single page. I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. So I'm going to show you how you can not just throw stuff out there and hope people come, but actually try to intentionally get people to learn about your service to the point where they say, that looks awesome, let me commit to that. And I'm going to show you how you can get people committed to it. So they're not just like, oh, I plan to go, but we all know that when people plan to go somewhere, it doesn't really work out that way. How to get people committed so you can then follow up with them to not only remind them about the service coming up, but also open up opportunities to develop a relationship. So when they show up to your Christmas service, it's not, hey, hi, are you new here? It's, oh, hey, it's John. I've been talking with him over email the last couple of weeks. And then he gets to say, hey, yeah, for me, that's a big deal. Like when I walk into a gym and it's like, hey, I'm Justin. He's like, hey, Justin, Landon here. And it's like, oh, Landon's the guy I've been texting. Like it's different. It's something different. It's meaningful when you walk into a place and you actually see the person you've been talking to ahead of time. So we're going to open that door with your Christmas landing page. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen here. All right. So what we are looking at is the framework that we built out for 2024, for Christmas services. And I want to highlight one thing just as I open it right here. Remember that most of your website traffic, that is the people visiting your website, are going to be visiting you on mobile, meaning they're taking out their devices. Very few people, unless you're in like the business world, very few people are going to be visiting your website on a desktop. All right. In fact, even when you check your own analytics and I see something that's really high, like, oh, wow, they got 40% desktop views. That's insane. And when you look at the data and the IPs, it's like, oh, those are coming from the church. Like it's people in the church office. More people, more often than not, 3 out of 4 people visiting your website are going to be visiting from a mobile device. So I bring this up here like this. It's a good reminder. This is our website software, by the way, if you're interested. I remind you that like people are going to visit your mobile first. So you should plan mobile first for them to see your Christmas service. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it here. And we're going to look at this as it would be on a mobile device, because I think this is the most important view that you should have of your website. A lot of people will look at this on a desktop and say, oh yeah, it looks beautiful. Look at all this stuff. 3 out of 4 people aren't ever going to see it like this. They are going to see it like this. So always make sure, always make sure that if you are building anything on your website, you start mobile. Like you can design it on desktop, but don't approve the desktop, approve the mobile view. Okay. So obviously our software makes it easy to switch between. We can even switch between iPhone and Android, which is pretty cool because there are some size and rendering differences. But anyways, that was the side of the point. That's a bonus. That's a bonus there. So the first thing I want you to take notice here, and let me pull my notes up so I don't get too lost. Where are my notes? Oh, okay. I see what happened. So number one, I want to point out that the design is, I want you to look at more of the framework than the design, okay? Because we are guiding people through discovery of your church. Okay. And so, I want to make sure that, they see that they are understood, they are desired, they are cared, they are wanted, they are, we want them to feel like this is a place that they can feel comfortable walking into, right? We don't want this to be like, again, to use the gym metaphor, someone walking into a gym and there's a whole bunch of people grunting and slamming weights and stuff. Like, there is a type of person that would feel welcome in that place. I do. My perfect gym is just a bunch of squat racks. But for many people, getting back into health, getting back into shape, taking that step, they want to understand what they're going into, and they want to feel like this is something I can do. So, I don't like to start with a whole bunch of, here's the exegetical reason why we do a Christmas service, and here's the different things that we do. I want us to focus on you first. We talk a lot about this in the headline of websites. It should be focused on you. It should show that we have prepared for you, planned for you, are ready for you. All right. So, the text here can change. In fact, we rarely launch with like 90% of the text that's on the template, because we want it to reflect what the church is doing. So I want to make sure that you understand that we're more looking at the framework rather than the text and the design. Okay. I want to show you how to study the Bible, not just like, here's what Esther says, right? Or here's what you should take away from Esther. You should be drawing your own lessons and revelations out of a Bible study, out of, your own personal reading. So I want you to draw your own design and text out of this. Now, obviously, a lot of our clients will use this as a template, or we use it as a starting place for our clients when we do the work for them. But yeah, obviously the pictures are going to change. A lot of the text is going to change too. But I want you to pay attention to that. We are first calling out who this is for. Okay. We are then inviting them in. We are showing them what to invite them to. All right. And then we are showcasing a little bit of context of what we're doing, and then what to expect. And then we ask them to RSVP. All right. And then we do include a final call out and a map here. But this part's kind of optional for a page like this. All right. So at the top, you need that hook. You need that headline that's going to draw people in. And for us, we this again is generic, but this one should be here like, hey, neighbors of the Woodlands, hey, residents of whatever. For example, looking for a church this Christmas, if it is a super spiritual, like not a seeker friendly, I hate that stuff, but not a seeker friendly place, but it's more like, hey, this is for people that want to get back to the traditional roots. This is people that want to like really dig deep into Christmas. Then yeah, this is a great headline. For some people, it's like looking for a family friendly Christmas event, looking for a candlelight service, looking for something to do on Christmas Eve. We just want something that'll be like, I try to avoid yes or no questions, but we want something that draws people in. It's like, yeah, that is me. Yeah, I am that. Okay. You see this all the time on different marketing and ads, as you're scrolling through Facebook. Hey, moms, are you busy working too hard that you can't work out? We see this in modern advertising. We can use this in the church as well. And then your headline. I don't like we're saving a seat for you. This is really just a placeholder, but what is it that is you want people to remember, right? That's always a starting point for our headlines. It doesn't become the headline, but it's the starting point. Is if people left and they only remembered one thing, what is the one thing you want them to remember? All right. And if you want to be super spiritual, you can still work with that, right? We want people to know what the Christmas season is about. Boom. There's your headline. Looking for a church this Christmas. Find a church that's showing what real Christmas is about for you and your family, right? Like that's a fine headline. We can massage it. But yeah, so we want to do a call out, like show like this is hyper focused towards you and your family, even if it's just for, hey, neighbors of San Antonio, North San Antonio, whatever it is. And then the one thing you want people to remember, this is not the one thing I want people to remember. We're saving a seat for you. Yeah, everyone's saving a seat for me unless you're trying to see Wicked on opening weekend. Apparently that was a big deal. So we want people to see we're saving a place for you. Insert pictures wherever you can. That should be inserted wherever you are. Okay. And then you want to make the invite. And again, I want to make sure that we showcase, what people are invited towards. And I like to dig a little deeper, right? You like when we're in counseling or when we're talking to our kids, we ask why a lot, right? And so it's like, hey, I'm feeling upset. Why are you feeling upset? Because my friend said this. And why does that upset you? Well, because they're my friends. They're not supposed to speak that way. And it's like, okay, and how does that make you feel, right? We when we talk and console our kids or our family members, we like to dig into the why. But when it comes to Christmas programs, we just stay on the surface. Hey, this is a great Christmas cantata, great music. Well, why is that important? Well, because we want to have a family-friendly event. Why is that important? Well, because family-friendly events are hard to come by, and Christmas has become too consumeristic. There you go. And so, your invite should be focused on, this isn't about consumerism Christmas. This is about expressing gratitude for what's happening and the reason for the season, or whatever it is you want to say. So we want to invite people to the actual reason the event is happening. All right. So we want to go beyond this. It's more than a Christmas celebration. It's about the joy of Christmas and celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ, right? For this example. So that's the invite. So you want to get people hooked. This is not just a Christmas service. This is not just a Christmas cantata. This is not just a Christmas play, right? You want to go deeper into that. And then I want you to showcase what's happening. Now, a lot of churches will fall into a trap of thinking, well, we just do a regular service. Okay. But remember, people looking for a church this Christmas, people looking for Christmas events, we can actually expand upon what a normal Christmas service is, or a normal service is, and we can include what happens there. So, maybe it's not upcoming events like this church in this example has a Christmas Eve service, a Christmas service, and then a Christmas program beforehand, whatever that is. It could be like, here's our Christmas service. Our Christmas service is like this. At 9:00, we're going to have coffee and donuts, and Santa's going to show up for the kids. I don't know. Maybe you got a volunteer that does Santa. Usually it's a spouse's husband. Usually it's a church staff's husband. Is that just my churches that I've worked in? It's always a receptionist or the children's minister or the accountant's husband. Like they just have a Santa suit because they're just that guy, that old guy, beard. They got a Santa suit. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I just comment down below. Is that your church? Do you have a church staff spouse that's a husband that plays Santa? So if you are you're doing multiple things during service, you're not just showing up, singing, preaching, and then leaving, right? So you probably got something beforehand, donuts, coffee. If not, get some donuts and coffee, and say, hey, at 9:00 we're gonna have a coffee and donuts, and maybe Santa's going to come, or maybe we'll have games for the kids. I don't know. Then we're going to have, kids presentation at 9:30, and then we're going to have our worship service, and then be dismissed, right? Like, even though it's only 2 or 3 things, and even though it's something you do every week, you can still highlight it as something that you're doing, on Christmas. So don't be afraid to break it down. Now, if you are doing multiple events, then go ahead and include these multiple events. We have the Christmas Eve candlelight service. We have the Christmas Day service. We have the Christmas morning sunrise service. I'm not going to that church. I grew up, I never understood sunrise services. I did not like that. We always did them on Easter growing up. And burned me out, so to speak. And then, if you do have something like a Christmas play or Christmas whatever, even though it was December 14th, you can go ahead and include that because it just shows context around what your church is doing on Christmas. So showcase your upcoming events. And if you are curious, here's what it looks like on desktop. Okay, nice 1, 2, 3. All right. If you're doing something for Advent, be free to put an Advent calendar here. Maybe you've got some prayer or devotional stuff that you're doing. You can put it here. Again, we don't want to just showcase the service itself. We want to provide context around what the entire Christmas season means at your church. The service is just a part of it. For many churches, I've discovered, we never really did this at my churches growing up, or the churches that we served at. The Advent season is an entire season. So we want people to, showcase that. All right. Now, this is optional. This is something that my team wanted to include. I thought it was pretty cool. So we're going to experiment with it this year. We've got volunteer opportunities listed. And what this does is it showcases that your church not only it is a place to be consumed, but it's also a place to be served. I think it hits on 2 points. Number one, I think it hits on people that are showing that, like, hey, okay, so when I come, I'm going to meet other people because there are volunteers there, right? When you go to a marathon, a 5K or something, there are volunteers handing out shirts, checking you in, putting your bib on, whatever it is. There are people there working. When you go to any local community event, right, there are volunteers working. Volunteers mean people, and people mean like relationships. It's something comfortable, right? I think a lot of people, when they think of Christmas services or any church service, they view it like a movie theater. Like, I'm going to go in, I'm not going to talk to anyone, and I'm just going to sit down, consume, and then leave. So I think there is something subtle there that shows, like, hey, this is a community event. There's going to be some involvement. There's actual human beings. There's heart behind this. And not only that, For your church people, this gets them to come and see what volunteer opportunities are. So it gets them using the webpage to remind them that there is a webpage so they can send it to their friends and family. But also there might be some people that are loosely connected. Maybe they go to an event or two every year at your church and there's a volunteer opportunity. That's a place for them to plug in. That's a place where they can serve. If your church is cool with that, with non-members serving, volunteering, maybe getting some hours that they might need, this is a great way to say, hey, you're welcome here to serve. And you might get people that would not come to consume a Christmas service, but they will come to volunteer to earn the hours. And you can use that as an opportunity to start a discipleship-focused relationship. So I like this. You don't have to include this, but this is something new that we're including this year that I'm like, yeah, let's see what that, let's take this on a date and see how this gels. All right. And then you get to your what to expect part. You could put this up higher, but I really want to sell the idea, so to speak, and then talk about what to expect. So again, if I want to invite someone to my church, it's very hard to get them to say yes to an 11 o'clock service. It's more likely to get them to say yes to getting a handle on their anxieties and frustrations, because that's what's really pressing them, not finding a good service time. So I like to spend, and this goes against what a lot of people are teaching, but this is just what's working for us and our clients. Spend more time focusing on the why and and then get into the logistics. Okay. I know it's a little backwards, but that's kind of how it is. We're not Walmart.com. Okay. We're a church. So we want to focus on the churchy parts and then we can go into the logistics. So what to expect, obviously include, this may even be similar to your plan a visit page, but include, what is service going to be like? What is parking like? What do I need to know before I go? Is there something for my kids or whatever? Include some pictures. These are just template pictures, obviously. But include a little bit about like what to expect on a Sunday morning, at your Christmas service. And if it is a Sunday morning, if it's a regular Sunday, just copy what's already on your plan to visit page, make it match the theme. All right. And then the last part is my favorite part. And that's the RSVP. This says contact us, but it really should say like save your seat or RSVP. Now you need to give people a reason to RSVP. All right. And the best thing I love to do is just give them a gift. Give them a visitor gift. You probably got some left over. They're visiting your church. Give them a visitor gift, even if it's like a Wednesday night service, candlelight service, whatever it is. Give them a visitor gift and allow them to RSVP. We want them to RSVP for two things. Number one, it's a micro commitment. It says, oh, I signed up to this, so I really should go. Or at least, I did sign up for it. Number two, it gives you their information. You don't have to ask for a phone number. It gives you their information so you can follow up with them. Okay. As soon as we're going to talk about this next week, as soon as they sign up, they should get an email with information and details. Then following, they should get some information like maybe a Christmas devotional, a Christmas sermon to watch, a message from the pastor, maybe some testimonies of what happened last Christmas, just whatever it is, what people have said about last Christmas. You can send them a weekly or every other day email that just says, hey, we're excited to have you. We can't wait to see you. We can't wait to meet you, blah, blah, blah. I say blah, 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 but I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's a way to follow up with someone. Okay. And this is where we have to really engage with what modern technology can allow for us to do. We no longer have to wait and see. We can actually keep the ball in our court and continue that conversation, continue the invite. Right. And people will say like, oh, well, it's Jesus told the disciples to knock on the door and then walk away if they didn't find a person of peace. Like, I get that. Sending the email is knocking on the door. The web page is not knocking on the door. Okay. The web page is the door. Right. But to go knocking, you have to actually go out and try to engage with that person. That's what the follow-up is for. So, the RSVP is, hey, give us your information. We'll save your spot. We'll save you a gift. This also allows you to plan for guest gifts based on signups. The week before, you can go out and go make the gifts if you want, bake the cookies if you like. Last week, I shared a really cool idea that I'm kind of excited for. I want someone to try. So this gives you an idea of how many guests you're going to get, but also allows you to continue that conversation. Then you send them the email. That's the knock. Okay. Now they can open the email, like they open the door, they can ignore it. But at least that's you knocking, right? You're not just leaving it to chance. So I like to ask for an RSVP. Now, maybe you do have ticketing, obviously you should have your ticketing software for that. But I think for many churches, at least the ones that we like to serve, they got plenty of seats. They just need to fill them. So let's get people to commit here. And we'll talk about next week the emails that you can send. If you want to send text, you can send text. But the emails you can send to just gently remind people and keep the connection going of here's the reason for the season, right? And then you can include a final call to action. Usually this will be something more of a pain point, like, hey, you don't have to spend Christmas alone. You don't have to spend another year wondering what if. I don't know, whatever that is. But for the Christmas one, we like to end it a little more positive. There's enough negativity in the world, especially at the end of the year. So we do end it with this. And then of course, you can include a map and all your other footer stuff. So that is the Christmas landing page. And again, you'll notice that the mobile view is the most important, right? Because I'm scrolling through this like I would social media. And so we want people to scroll and discover as they would on social media. It's the habits people have now. Let's lean into that. Now, all of our clients do get this template, or we build it out for them using this template, but you can follow this framework. Again, just a reminder, the order is you're going to call them out, make the invite, showcase what's happening at your church, all the happenings. You're going to provide context or volunteer opportunities. You're going to highlight what to expect. You're going to use pictures of your people, even if it's, I didn't really talk about pictures, but even if it's not Christmas pictures, use pictures of your church. It's fine. People will forgive you. Give a RSVP or a call to action to get people to sign up, and then include a map. So obviously the visitor information and all that stuff, so you can showcase where that goes. All right. If you want more help with this, I think we're almost out of time, but if you can get in maybe Thanksgiving week, we can fit you in. If you want a page like this, we can build it out, a single page like this on a subdomain like christmas.yourchurch.com. So you can drive traffic to that. But if you want us to go ahead and do that, or if you have questions, send us an email to hello@novachurchmarketing.com. Do I have that as a banner? I don't know if I do. I don't, but you can go justin@novachurchmarketing.com. That's fine. I'll just forward it to my team. I want more people to come to your Christmas services. I think Christmas services are a fantastic way to get people connected with your church, get them to go to church that in a way that they would never go before, and use that as not only an evangelistic opportunity, but what I would more consider a discipleship opportunity, where you are getting people connected to your church, connected to your body, so you can then continue to disciple and evangelize to them. So I want to see people come into your Christmas services, even if it's just a normal Christmas service. I think there are people that the Spirit will open their hearts of. You just got to make sure that you overcome those obstacles to get people to care, to get people coming in. So I want to see that happen for you. God bless you. Next week, we'll talk about the email sequence that you send afterwards. And after that, you're going to have a full stack of like, hey, here's how we're going to find people. Here's how we're going to nurture that curiosity and interest. And then here's how we're going to connect with them and make sure they come to the Christmas service. God bless you guys. I will see you all in the next video.
That's going to do it for today's episode of the Best Known Church Show with Justin Nava. Be sure to subscribe to stay updated on the latest news, strategies, and resources that you need to reach 10x more people and become the best known in your community. To send us a message or leave a voicemail for Justin to be played on a future show, visit thebestknownchurchshow.com. And if you'd like to work with us so you can focus on your ministry, give us a call at 832-861-7654. Until next time, stay outrageous, unreasonable, and relentless.